Right, we are live. Hey guys, how's it going? Welcome back to the Kiwi Lads channel. We are back for another match of the under-20s. This one, it will be New Zealand versus Ireland. Two sides that can still make it into the semi-finals, although both needing a big victory here. Theoretically, if it all worked out, both of these teams can actually make it through to the next stage of the competition. At the moment, it is confirmed that South Africa will be through to the semis. This was what the table looked like at the start of the round. Now, maximum, these two sides, theoretically, if they were to both go through, they'd both need 11 points and have to rely on that France versus Argentina game going a little bit wrong for both. Whereas if New Zealand win this, they would be through. If Ireland win it, they also would be through to the next stage. But it's just that second best, or in fact, their first best second place team that will be determined just that little bit later on. Looking through at the starting lineups for these two sides, quite a few familiar faces for New Zealand in comparison to their under-20s Rugby Championship that we did see up against South Africa, Argentina and Australia. Rico Simpson slots into the number 15 with Vainuku and Kunawave out on the wings. In the middle it is Roberts and Wiseman, and then Pledger and Cole, they will be the 9 and the 10. Looking through at this Irish starting lineup, they've got some handy enough players from their under-20 Six Nations campaign. I do just feel like overall for Ireland, this campaign hasn't quite gone as they would have first envisioned, but they can still go through if they do beat New Zealand here, and if they beat them comfortably, then that of course will be even better for this Irish side. But they have got Maloney and Maloney out on the wings, spelt differently. Mangan in the midfield alongside Scott. And then, of course, that loose forward trio of McCarthy, Minihue, or Mino, I believe it is. My apologies. And then Murphy as the number 8. Looking through at the previous games for these two sides, at the moment we have got the haka taking place for New Zealand. Before this match gets underway, they were able to beat the Italians in the opening contest 14 points to 5, and then 38 points to 19 the win over the Georgians. Ireland having a similar game up against Georgia, although just that little bit closer, 35 points to 28. And then 16 points to 18 in that game up against the Italians. The Irish were defeated, and that definitely changed the outcome for this contest, but it still stays the same, which is both of these sides need a big win. And for New Zealand, of course, that win doesn't need to be as big because they were able to get themselves 2 wins in their first 2 contests. We have got there, it is in Italy, right? No, Spain. Says fortnight, yeah, so this competition taking place in Spain. And already we have seen some pretty impressive contests throughout, not just today, but the whole competition. South Africa getting themselves the big win over Scotland just moments ago. So they have booked themselves a spot through to the semi-final. Now, the last time that these two sides stood face-to-face, the All Blacks did the haka. The Irish did not back down, and both sides had a staring contest for a good 2 minutes before either side moved. Are we going to see that again here? Or are they going to be back ready to go for this contest? 30 points to 8 says fortnight there for the score prediction. And all in Hamish says Robert there too. Okay, Ireland not even acknowledging it. Going into the huddle, looking away from New Zealand. So, of course, the Kiwis, they will be fired up. They know that they do need this victory. Stanley Solomon, the man who was in charge. Why you can't stream it? Because it is illegal. Any match footage or audio getting shown would get me straight away banned off YouTube for 3 months with a copyright strike, potentially sued for copyright infringement. And I don't think I can have my sleep schedule that I have in jail. It just wouldn't work. Plus, I wouldn't be able to watch as many games of rugby, I wouldn't think. So it's best to stay out of there, I would say. The Irish wearing the white strip with the green trim for this contest for New Zealand. They are going to be wearing the, of course, classic black jersey. Looks like Ireland, they are going to do a training drill as they make their way onto the field. A few extra tackles just to get back warm after standing watching New Zealand do the haka. Now New Zealand just doing a few shoelaces up as well. Who will New Zealand play if they win? Nothing confirmed yet. But I think that the first thing is New Zealand just need to make sure that they get the victory. They can't worry about who they'll be facing in semi-finals. They could find themselves up against either Argentina or France, more than likely, if they were victorious. So it would be that the winner of that group faced New Zealand, and the loser of that group, who would still go through, would be facing South Africa. Griffin Colby, the South African referee, he will be in charge of this match. Ireland, they will be kicking off from right to left. A lot of pressure on these young players. They have to perform. Place in the semi-finals on the line like they've said. Both these sides can still go through, but that would have to take a miracle for that to work out. But now kicked off long by Ireland. And we are now ready to go. 20 metres out from the line, New Zealand with Pledger goes across to the left-hand side to Cole. Moving up to the 22-metre line. In fact, Ireland trying to play the physical game, trying to turn it into a maul, was Murphy. I'll pop back across to the left-hand side for New Zealand. Rico Simpson tackled 30 out from the New Zealand line. That last game between South Africa and Scotland, we saw over 80 points scored. I have a feeling this one will be a bit more low scoring between the two sides, a lot more competitive in that regard. Now, nicely claimed by Ireland after the kick downfield happened from New Zealand. Ireland, they will go off to the left again. Little chip in behind, attempted, but it's charged down by New Zealand. Sits back up for Ireland. A little bit scrappy in the early stages for both of these sides, but Will Wooten now has the ball in hand. Goes off to the left-hand side. Corrigan tries to avoid Jaden Sarr. Now, steep bounce there for Rico Simpson inside of the 22, New Zealand. Managing to get the clearing kick, and we will have the first stoppage of this game. A bit of a feeling out process, I would say, between these two sides, both knowing how important this win is, both knowing how important it is that they start well in this contest. The last thing that you want is to end up throwing a random pass. I mean, you can ask Scotland how that went in that contest up against South Africa. But now, thrown in, rolling maul here for the Irish. Sitting around the halfway line, they've been told to use it once, so they do go off to the right-hand side with Harry Walker, now finding it across to Wooten, close to the sideline, but Ireland just about staying in the field of play with Maloney. Across into the middle of the field, 25 metres out from the line. Now Tom Wood. Cross again, good defence at the moment coming from New Zealand too. Greetings from icy cold Cape Town. Hamish says Ruth. Yeah, it's definitely a different kind of temperature at the moment for these guys out there on the field. They didn't have the drinks break though. Little grubber in behind, sits up now, little chip in behind from Ireland, and they will score it early, 2.5 minutes in, and it is some skill out wide. And that was actually, of all people, the man whose name I absolutely butchered in the start for Minot. Yeah, the grubber, and then it was the number 7 who chips it over the top of Will Cole. Can't drag him down in time, and a brilliant start to the match here for Ireland. That will definitely give the Kiwis a wake-up call. The early stages of the match will be quite close to the touchline, so not an easy kick here for Tom Wood. Off the left boot. I'd say about maybe 40 metres out on the angle, maybe a little bit closer. I got Jack Daniels. So here's Robert V there. Shot clock down to 3 seconds at the time that he strikes it, brings it round, and it has gone straight through the middle. 7-0 now to Ireland after just the 3.5 minutes. And we have got there, Minot is, Minot, does it have the G, so it's Minogue, like Kylie Minogue, the singer? Is it kind of similar to her name? Or is it without the G? So like Minot. Now, ready to kick this one off. Chasing after this one is Frank Vainuku. And Minogue is Anthony Foley's nephew. Says Patriot Islander. I'm home because of the heat, so it's past 12. I could drink. Says Robert V. Kick down the middle of the field from New Zealand. Now inside of the 22 for Ireland. We'll look towards the sideline, and that is a monster kick. Thought about taking it quickly there, New Zealand, but they will be about 35 metres out from their line. I pronounce it Minogue. Says Ruth there. And also we have got there Robert Nice. I've got hot chocolate and old brown sherry. Says Ruth. And a line out throw for Letu. 5 minutes into the contest, not the start that New Zealand would have been after. Hi, Hamish Kiwi lad. Says Imagination Freaks, welcome in. You are doing extremely well. Already the early try coming for Ireland. And this contest kicked down the middle of the field again from New Zealand. Trying to play the territory game, but as we've learned, Ireland have a long boot at the back. And that is going to be a tough territory battle to win. It's dark and grey and it's 6:05 p.m. It's going to be a long night, says Ruth. Oh, kicks it into touch. That is a very good clearing kick from Rico Simpson too. So probably made about the same amount of metres as the Irish did from the 22. And I hope you're sipping on it, says Robert V. Now throw in for Henry Walker. This one definitely has more of a slower feel to it than that last match between South Africa and Scotland. At this point in time, I believe Scotland had already conceded 1 or 2 tries. In this case, New Zealand have conceded the 1, but it seems a bit more structured the way that these two sides are playing too. Where can you watch it? It is on Rugby Pass for those who don't have a official broadcaster. So for us here in New Zealand, we can't actually watch it free because Sky Sport have the licensing, so that is our option here. But if you're in a country that doesn't have a main broadcaster, Rugby Pass do normally have these games. I'm across the pond in New Jersey from you, says Robert V. With a straw, Robert's one from the inside. Come on, baby blacks. Get a try, win the game, and make it worth me getting up for, says Novmum. A bit of an early morning start for us here in New Zealand, currently sitting 4:07 a.m. Right, they are just saying about how New Zealand, if they win, they qualify for the semis. If Ireland do, and bonus points and whatnot are in play in the right way, Ireland can go through alongside New Zealand. That's a big old run coming from the Irish up to the 22-metre line for Maloney. New Zealand having a scramble yet again here. Defensively passed on the outside. This will be try number 2 for Ireland. This time Dan Green slides on in. Wow. That is the start and a half for this Irish side. They have already got 2 tries on the board in the first 7 minutes. And hi, Hamish, Kiwi lad. Reports mentioned that there was an earthquake near the southern island of New Zealand. Says Imagination Freaks. It wouldn't surprise me. I think they have a whole heap like little ones that come to the South Island each and every day. At USA, I've got heat waves in the northern hemisphere. Few seas roof. Wow, 8 minutes in. Already going to be sitting with the potential of 14-0 if this kick does go over for the young Irish side. Oh, ball falls off the tee. Only 14 seconds remaining now for him to be able to line up the kick. You've got 5 seconds now. And just misses it away to the side. And where is it televised? Rugby Pass TV, I believe, is the best bet if you haven't got an official broadcaster for being able to watch this one. If you do have someone who's an official broadcaster, such as for us in New Zealand with Sky, it means that, sadly, it's just paid subscription services. They do have it available. There was a tornado warning this morning, not too far away. Says Robert, and the Irish on a roll, says Ruth there. Yes, sitting 12-0 after the 8 minutes. Vainuku chasing after this one quickly as well. New Zealand, big shot coming in from, I believe it would have been Roberts. No, Wooden told to use it. Kicking that one into touch. That almost hit the camera. And typical, it's not televised in Ireland. So if it's not televised in Ireland through an official broadcaster, is it on Rugby Pass TV, Joe Hick? Because I think normally what happens is if it doesn't have an official one, you can find it on Rugby Pass TV. Geographically, I think it should work. Unless there is some sort of paid one. I'd assume so, says Joe Hick. But out rolling around with the maul, New Zealand. Sitting 20 metres out from the Irish line. Pledger. Shifting it back across to the left-hand side. This is where the forwards really need to get into their work for the Kiwis. Find a way through this Irish defence. Now driving forward there, Finn McLeod. 10 metres out. Bit of a counter-up coming from Ireland. Ref tells him to get out of it as he was and off his feet. Got some tackling machines in that Irish four-pack, although now New Zealand going off to the short side with Dylan Pledger again. And Anthony Foley, Munster legend, the original Peter O'Mahony. The apple didn't fall far from the tree. Go on, Minogue. The uncle's looking down today, full respect to the New Zealand Māori who honour him, says Patriot. Now 3 metres out from the line. New Zealand going to use the big man, Jaden Saar. 3 metres now, separating New Zealand from the try line. That looked very close to the other lock falling over the top of the breakdown. It will be, I believe, Mosisi Basson. Yes, it is. And New Zealand now get themselves on the board. It's a much needed try as well for them. And going good, thanks guys. And there was a volcano eruption in Indonesia. So here's Robert V. And coming all the youngsters, All Blacks boys, start moving it. So here's Roof. And I should mention there is another under-20s rugby game going on between England and Australia. At this point in time in that contest, it is still 0-0. Now, if England want any chance of qualifying, they have to win that game with a bonus point and have a better points differential than the loser of Argentina versus France, who also cannot receive a bonus point from their game. So with that loss to South Africa without any bonus points in play, it actually has heavily cost the English, and they might not even be able to defend their throne in this competition. The kick is over from New Zealand, though. Will Cole adds the extra 2 points, and now 12 points to 7 the score after the 12 minutes. A tough kick for conversion made it. So here's Jonathan there, and try New Zealand, let's go. So here's a Ruth, and there too. And good fly half, NZ Cole. So here's Ruth there. And now kicking this one off again for the Irish. Deep into New Zealand's half. And this is where normally New Zealand are so dangerous when they've just struck. They do like to score back-to-back tries. We saw that throughout the Under-20 Rugby Championship competition. Ireland, like I mentioned, some very strong defenders across their side. Pledger will shift it away to the right-hand side. New Zealand missed the pass, but it now sits up for Will Cole, who will run it forward. Simpson, in fact. Now Pledger going off to the short side, grub it in mind. Frank Vainuku sits up for him. He will chip it in mind once more. Awkward bouncing ball. It avoids absolutely everyone except for Wooten, who has cleaned it up for Ireland. 25 metres out from the line. That bounce could have gone absolutely anywhere. Definitely wanted to avoid those New Zealand attackers though, or else it could have been try time yet again. And back into the pocket. Now kicks it downfield off the left boot. Chasing after it. Will Cole now claims it 30 metres out from New Zealand's line. Rico Simpson will go with a little chip in behind with his right foot. Big shot coming in there. Looked a little bit early from Kunawavi, and I believe he has been pinged for it. Yes, he has. Oh no, tackle in the ear is actually what the call was. I didn't realise the guy was in the air. He must have been, I think he was jumping backwards to try and take the catch. I just thought maybe we saw a bit too early. Who got the ball, says Raymond. At the moment, Ireland have got the ball after the penalty was awarded against Kunawavi for the Kiwis. I'm under the duvet and fleecy blanket shivers outside. Got my fire going. Says Roof. I'm going to be kicked into touch. And mid-air tackle dangerous, says Roof. Yeah, although in that scenario, it wasn't, like, we've seen a lot worse. In fact, he wasn't in the air from the replay there, so I believe it was for early tackle. Tavatavanawa to be selected tomorrow. I hope he is, but I also do think that if Caleb Clark goes into the starting side, they'll put Ioane at 23. So I think we'll have to wait one more week for Tomofi Tavatavanawa to actually get that chance. Now Ireland to the short side, chance again to be able to get towards that try line. New Zealand trying to get in off the feet there from, I think it was Jack Wiseman. Who do you think will win? I do think that New Zealand came in as favourites, but Ireland are a competitive side. Oh, another penalty. This time going against New Zealand for not rolling away. It was against Yumaki Pole. Right. If you're Ireland, do you take 3 here or do you go for the corner? That answers that question. They did not muck around. They are going straight into the corner for this one. And also, they could be landing awkwardly or bang heads together. Lucky this one. Here's Ruth. Yeah, they showed the replay and there was no separation between the man and the ground. It was just the fact that Kunawavi went too early. How did junior box play? They went well. up against Scotland. Big concern in the number 10 jersey, though. Moyo went off with an HIA, never returned in the match, so they may have lost their goal kicker for the semi-finals. Is this game not live on Rugby Pass TV? I believe it should be, but I have no idea because I watch it on Sky. Now rolling maul here for the Irish. Been told to use it once. Now going back across to the left-hand side, chance there for Tom Wood. Now ball pops up to McCarthy. Digging around for that one was Wooten. Across to Corrigan. Still 5 metres out from the line for Ireland. Feel like a backline movement is coming very soon. I hope New Zealand wins, says Raymond. Oh, penalty does go the way of Ireland again for New Zealand, not rolling away. Any Irish players on the youth Ireland sides? I like the first team are all from New Zealand, Australia or South Africa, says MB. I think a majority of these guys you'll find are born and bred in Ireland, but they're eligible to play for the countries they play for, so I don't see the argument. As Hamilton Boys High School are still the best rugby school in New Zealand, says Cody. It's still up there, another advantage going against New Zealand on their goal line now, back into the pocket, cross kick attempted here, and New Zealand get up for it out on the wing from Rico Simpson. Another blow of the whistle here. This is starting to get a little bit ugly for New Zealand. I think someone's going to the bin very soon. Okay, the warning has been given to Letu to pass it on. McCarthy so Irish. I live next door to Corrigan family in my block of flats in 1980s. They all had red hair and freckles, 4 kids. Says Ruth in there too. Currently 16 minutes already passing in this game, so it has been going fast at the start of this matchup. But Ireland, I think they're just going to keep on applying the pressure, and this time it looks like a quick tap is going to be the option that they opt for. Henry Walker taps it. Gets a little bit closer. New Zealand told to stay onside. Looping round the back. Not quite able to reach out there for Luke Murphy. Now Corrigan again with the pick and go. Closing in on 1 metre from the try line. 7 told to get back. I think that's Caleb Woodley in this game. For the Kiwis, almost stretching out again for Ireland. They're right on the verge of that try. McCarthy flattens out, but again just short. Seems like it's only a matter of time. Another advantage going against the New Zealanders. I think there was a knock on there, but it's going to be another blow of the whistle, and this might be the yellow card. Yes, it is. Are we over there? New Zealand and South Africa feed the World Rugby legends is my point, says MB. Feed the World Rugby legends. As in what? I feel like, but if they're eligible, what's the problem? You know, like if it was such a problem, they wouldn't have the eligibility. You know, and certain players don't qualify for certain teams as well. But now breaking off the back, Ireland still 5 metres out from the line. This is an aggressive run coming from Uzanov. Now 3 metres out from the try line again. Now 2 metres from the line. Cross, yeah, using the back line this time, Ireland, but New Zealand shut it down once more. Seems like that last couple metres is what is a real challenge at the moment. Did New Zealand get a yellow card? Yes, they did. It was Saar, the number 5. Did go from the field. Now Ireland with Henry Walker again. Gets that a little bit closer. New Zealand trying to go for a turnover in the breakdown. That was really dumb from Woodley because his teammate was unable to roll away. New Zealand now 1 metre from their line defending. Wooten takes his time finding the next pass. Goes across there. Cross kick right towards the corner. A bit too much on it, but they already had the penalty advantage. I feel like this will be another last warning here for New Zealand. This time for offside. Come on, New Zealand from South Africa, says Yaniv. Now 18 and a half minutes through in this match, and this is very fatiguing for New Zealand. We see a lot of hands on hips, hands on knees. It's like Kunawawe, he's getting frustrated. He's going, boys, I'm not made to defend, I want to attack. I want to be able to use that pace down the wing. New Zealand again. Right, time is off. Okay, by the sounds of it, one of the medics for New Zealand is actually getting a bit of a hounding from the referee after he must have said something to the ref. But Ireland, how many times? Oh, no, this time they look for the 3 points. So they have been trying to break through on attack. New Zealand with the man disadvantage held strong. And Ireland will now look to get that extra 3 points. That'll give them the 8-point lead. And Irish Whiskey pushing. There's Ruth there. And only 2 World Rugby powers on Earth, All Blacks and Box. Says Fareed. Although I think it is very much easy to agree that without all of the other teams, like the world of rugby wouldn't be the same. And going to be a mad match for New Zealand if they're defending most of the time. Or going to be a tough match, from Roof. And that kick has gone over 15 points to 7. Tom Wood. He's had a busy day off the kicking tee. The ball already fell off it earlier on. They are just showing the big man, Jaden Sarr, waiting for his chance to make his way back out onto the field. And the French also top. See, there's Roof there. Yeah, just getting offside far too many times here in New Zealand. They need to start being side of the Irish's half. They just said there, 17 penalties from New Zealand against Georgia, so the discipline has been a problem. Ball bounces up there. No one claiming it for Ireland. I believe they were looking into the sun. We have got there Hamish with score box versus Scotland. Box got themselves the win in that contest. Did they reach 70 or was it in the 60s? I think it might have been 60. Oh no, they just ticked over 70 in the end. I think it was 71-17 or 14 or something along those lines. I believe the end score was pick and go. New Zealand get over just short of the line initially. And then breaking through it will be Xavier Tracy. Does get the try. And New Zealand now back in this game. So you wonder, with seeing that now as Ireland, was that the right decision to take the 3? Yes, they will still lead by 1. But should they have just kept on hounding that New Zealand line, get another yellow card for the Kiwis? And NZ, come on, says Jonathan. And there as well, try New Zealand. Says Ruth. All right, commentator just saying there that Ireland shot themselves in the foot by going for the 3 and then conceding straight afterwards. Another opportunity to add 2 for Will Cole. It sounded like the referee was just saying that it's all clear, that the try will stand. And come on, boys. The comeback is on, and how much more, or how much time max on a conversion? Maybe 1.5. I think it's 60 seconds that you're allowed for a conversion. So it is quite a quick time. Definitely like we saw for one of the Irish kicks that the ball fell off the tee. Although he does like to kick it right at the last moment, Tom Wood. So, sometimes you just take that risk. You got the ball. The try was scored by New Zealand. So now Ireland have it because they're kicking it off. Now, kicked high. Just the 5 minutes remaining of the yellow card. Now, Xavier Tracy with another carry. New Zealand, penalty. Goes the way of the Irish. A neck roll in the breakdown. I think there we saw Caleb Woodley just apologising for that one. Ireland have a chance to add another 3 if they want it. Or is this going to now be the mentality of go for the corner? All right, it looks like they are kicking towards the corner here, Ireland. Woodley has a big open side flank, 197 metres and 122 kgs. So here's Cody Armstrong. There are some big boys out there for the under-20 comp. And, if they can hone their skills, get into a Super Rugby side eventually. Of course, some of them are in the under-20 Super Rugby sides. But, get into that senior team and perhaps one day make your way on for the All Blacks as well. And that All Blacks team up against the French. It will be announced in around 8 hours' time. I am going to be doing the video for that one. Rolling maul now coming for Ireland. Sitting about 10 metres out from New Zealand's line. Who kicked the ball now, says Raymond. No one kicked the ball just in this recent time as Ireland have got the ball in their hands. 10 metres out from the line. Now they've got the penalty. Double blow the whistle. New Zealand, once again, final warning. This is where Ireland need to be for a majority of this game because New Zealand's discipline is atrocious at this point in time. And I was at Ireland beating the All Blacks. I never, says David. And take those 3 points. It could make the difference later, says Roof, although kicking for the corner again for the Irish. At this point in time, chasing that bonus point too. does have potential of boosting them just that little bit higher up in the qualifying. Will you be streaming the Italy game? I will not, no. We will be doing this one, then I'll be heading to bed for about 4 hours, then getting up to the All Blacks video. Glad to see the under ABs, or under 20 ABs, show some fight. Now looping around the back here. Chance from only a couple metres out. He's going to be held up, though no way through for Luke Murphy. It's going to become a goal line dropout now for New Zealand. This is your last final warning, says I Lollipop. And terrible discipline, says Ruth. I had this down as 42-19 to the ABs. Yeah, not quite possible now, but, you know, they will certainly have to sort that discipline. Still playing with 14 men on the field here, New Zealand. The goal line dropout. And towards the halfway line, Ireland, do they want the 50-metre drop kick? No, instead they will try and run it. Murphy was held up just moments ago. Still plenty of energy left in the tank. Backline movement here for Ireland. Wood goes across now to Dan Green. To score a try about 15 or so minutes ago. Big two-man tackle on McCarthy. New Zealand wanting the turnover in the breakdown, and they managed to steal it. The big man, Mosisi Basson. Yep. Back into the pocket. New Zealand kicking it back to Ireland. I don't know if that's the tactic that they should be going with, although 50-22 almost became a chance there. The way that ball was bouncing, Dan Green goes down the middle of the field. New Zealand claiming it on the halfway line. Now looking to charge forward. It will be Will Cole. Now Pledger, no advantage this time for New Zealand. Offside against the Irish. Some in about 2 minutes left, says Jonathan. So yeah, if they can survive this period and maybe even score again here for New Zealand, it would be pretty massive for them. Now Pledger back across. Kunawave for one of his first attacks, or one of his first attacks of the game. Who do you think will win between Argentina and France? I think France have got a decent shot, but I don't think Argentina will be a mile off, so they should go through as the next qualifier in the comp. Although England, of course, they will have to chase a big win up against the Australians. The way that it sits, that is not what they're doing. But now New Zealand passing it out wide. Oh, slipped over. Gets back up to his feet, just short of the line again for Finn McLeod. Pick and go from New Zealand. Going to be just short, no rolls over. And Cooper Roberts gets the try. He puts up the shark fin. They'll check it for double movement. And it should get over here. Says a Jonathan in poor discipline. Yet 1 point behind on the board with 14 players. Exactly right. That just shows the class of this under-20 New Zealand side. And now they are leading, even with their man disadvantage. Saar still has another minute that he will be from the field. But I think that frustration for Ireland of being so close to being able to cross that chalk just to then be denied about 4 or so times to then take the 3. And Pledger has lots of potential. I could see him challenging Fakatava in a few years at the Highlanders, says Cody Armstrong. I think we'll slowly see these guys making their way into the senior teams. The Highlanders, they've always been a side that not a lot of young players go to in terms of these guys. But, you know, like you said, it's probably now that Aaron Smith's gone, that halfback role is definitely more open. You've got Folau Fakatava, James Ascot, and then there's one other fella down there at the moment who got quite a few minutes this past season because of the injury of Ascot. But I can't think of his name off the top of my head, unfortunately. And New Zealand hold to keep focused and know, okay, says Jonathan, I hope Argentina, says that to net. The score now, Saar returns to the field and it is 19 points to 15. It'll be kicked off by Ireland, getting back underway, Tom Wood. And also, who do you think can take the win between Georgia and Italy? I do think Italy should have that one. Well spotted by Pledger, almost a counter-ruck from the Irish, but the ball was still there. So he went in and did manage to grab it. We got the Clovers there from David. Nathan Hasty, that's the one. Oh, great take under the high ball from Frank Vainuku. Just keeps himself in the field of play. Currently 4 points advantage in favour of New Zealand. Letius just trying to throw himself through this Irish wall of defence. There's a boot missing. There's been a lot of boots that have come off people's feet throughout the game. And this time it is Letus. They'll go on the outside here. New Zealand space. Now chance for Kunoave, who will try the step on the outside, but great defense from the last tackle from Dan Green. Pledger back across New Zealand. It's a bounce pass and it's well handled from Mosisi Basin. Now across, this just seems like it's destined for a New Zealand try, but Cooper Roberts not willing to pass it. New advantage. Pledger flicks it out the back door. Rico Simpson sells the dummy. 5 metres out from the line now. Pledger looking both ways, will go off to the left and does find Caleb Woodley. Now across again. They're looking for the bonus point already for New Zealand. If they were to lose this game, they do need the 2 bonuses. Kunoave, one-on-one, puts the ball on the inside, and that will be the try now for New Zealand. And it is Will Cole. Does manage to score. Going to be a crack of this one. Yeah, just going back and forth between these two sides at the moment. I don't think the Irish under-20s have been that great this year, says Flesh, although they had a great start to this matchup, getting the 2 early tries up against New Zealand, but from there, New Zealand have started to take a bit more control. Do you think it's going to be a tight game with New Zealand and South Africa when they play again? If you're talking about the under-20s, there is a chance that they won't play each other in this competition, although they could meet in the final, they could meet for the bronze final. The way that this one is going too strong, says Roof. An amazing, great play. Thanks, guys. Says Jonathan. Okay, it was going to be a penalty only against Luke Murphy there. So the try will stand. And now a chance to get the extra 2 for New Zealand. This game's been absolutely rocketing by. I don't know whether or not you guys have found it the same, but compared to that Scotland-South Africa, even though we saw so many tries early on, like this one we're already 30 minutes through. And we have already had a lot of points in this game too. 24 points to 15. But I think it's the fact that it's not just one team scoring that does make it that little bit more fast-paced. How does the under-20 playoffs work? I assume that is from Tian. So pretty much the simplest way I can explain it is number 1 from each group go through. So that is 3 out of the 4 semi-finalists confirmed. Then just like the 7s when it is a shortened leg and we have 3 pools, rather than the 4, it is the fact that the best second place team also goes through. So let's say, for instance, Ireland win this game and New Zealand get 2 bonus points. New Zealand move up to 11. If Argentina didn't score any bonus points from their game, New Zealand would go through. At the moment, the most likely is South Africa because they just won their next game up against Scotland. So they are in the semis. New Zealand, if they win this, are also in there. And then France or Argentina, whoever wins that game goes through. And whoever's the best second place team also advances through to the semi-final. So at the moment, France and Argentina, they are in the box seat. That all the opponent needs to, or whoever loses needs to do, is get 4 tries or be within 7, and they'll go through as well. And also New Zealand, who's the most explosive New Zealand player. I mean, Kunawave's always had that pure pace down the wing, although so far he's been marked pretty well by Charlie Maloney, as well as I think Dan Green had to make a tackle not too long ago on him. Line out throw here for New Zealand with Letu. New Zealand line out, says Jonathan. And there as well, they will be 22 metres out from the Irish line, thrown in and claimed by Jaden Saar. Letu looping around 20 metres out from the line, Ireland. Trying to get that steal in the breakdown. Now Caleb Woodley off to the left-hand side here again for one of the try scorers for New Zealand, and Xavier Tracy attacking run forth from Roberts. And the Pumas, 2 of the tops in their exclusive club of winners. And they are so good on set pieces today, can't believe it, says Jonathan. And the thing is, if Argentina win that game, or even if they go through to the next stage, that means 4 teams. Oh, what a run that is from Dylan Pledger. And he has got it straight through the pick and go. A little bit Cam Roigard-esque from the last weekend. Dylan Pledger saw the chance, did well and truly taken to New Zealand, and now well and truly taken control of this game. But yeah, Pledger next to the ruck is just a danger. Corrigan missing that tackle. But yeah, 4 teams making it through to the semis, 3 of which could be from the Rugby Championship, which would be very impressive. The only team missing out in that regard would be Australia. So also 3 from the Southern Hemisphere, I think, is another way to look at it. Now, 6.5 minutes remaining. And also the try. There's Ruth in there too. That kick has gone over. New Zealand now leading 31 points to 15. Ireland, I think, regret taking that 3-pointer because New Zealand were on their last warning just out from their goal line. All they needed to do was just keep that pressure on that little bit longer, force 1 or 2 more errors, and then you're good to go. Yellow cards and all sorts coming in. Like this. We will go like that as well. There we go. Now kick downfield. I see taken by New Zealand. 5 metres out from their own line. So it looks like a big boot is coming. We'll go down towards the halfway line. Now 45 metres out. Ireland line out coming again. And don't miss tackles. It's dangerous. Tries are scored, says Roo. Definitely in the under-20s game. You know, you miss one tackle, you're done for. It's a little bit similar to Sevens. How normally, you know, that next cover isn't quite there. Right, we will go like this. We will go like that as well. Now, well claimed by the Irish. Oh, no, not gone there, coming from New Zealand. A 70s baby, 1970. Here's Ruth. Now, Ireland, they will have the scrum feed. They want any chance of winning this game. I do feel they need one more try before the halftime break. And Playborn, 1971. And I go the 70s baby, says Novmum. In there as well. Now, about to feed this ball in, Will Wooten. Thing is, Ireland have got a strong backline here. And if they can get it out wide to Maloney or Maloney, spelt 2 different ways, it can be dangerous. They've just said no water breaks today due to the temperature not quite being as hot. Ireland, 40 metres out, says Jonathan. 45 metres from their line. We'll go off to the right-hand side now, breaking towards the halfway and just over. Looked like Caleb Woodley trying to get that steal on the breakdown off to the right again for Ireland. Loose hands. That doesn't cost them the possession. Now kicking him behind, attempted there from Wooten. Ball bounces awkwardly, but well taken from Frank Vainuku. Would have learnt that from the 7th circuit and lands hard. Now pick and go, going again. Caleb Woodley thought about the offload and he does get it away to Xavier Tracy. And have a big birthday next year for me. Says Nod Mum, and maybe Simbin here, says Jonathan. Oh, that's going to be slapped down there, playing the 9, and Ireland now will be at a man disadvantage. That is the last thing they would have wanted. There's a smile on the face, but Will Wooten has made a really bad decision there that could take Ireland completely out of this game. We should also mention, for New Zealand, you know, the more points they get here, even though there's not home and away, I guess it doesn't really become too relevant in that scenario. But of course, you want to be finishing in that top 2. New Zealand taking control, says John. And okay, cheers, says Ruth. Yeah, well, Wooten. Ball just comes out and then he slaps it out of the hands of Woodley. Like they're saying, he is still the scrum half, whether they did like it or not. Line out throw here for New Zealand. Letiu to put it in. Thrown over the top there, though. Not claimed cleanly. New Zealand conceding the ball to Ireland to do. Kick it downfield. Now loose ball. Picked up again by the Irish fly half, Tom Wood. A lot of bravery shown there with boots flying all over the place. But now counter-attacking chance here for Ireland. Perhaps they will also play better with 14 men on the field. Speaking of Tom Wood, very slow, getting back up to his feet, and the penalty goes the way of New Zealand for not releasing. And New Zealand pulling away now. Says Roof, yeah, if they can get one more before halftime, of course, that would be absolutely massive for them. But it does look like, unfortunately, Tom Wood, his knee, that is already extremely heavily strapped, may be playing up here. New Zealand, they will have themselves the line out from about 15 metres from the Irish line. They're just talking about the body language of Ireland and how it seems like they've lost a little bit of spirit. After such a dangerous start, I think it was those few minutes where New Zealand were conceding penalty after penalty, but still the Irish couldn't quite get through. Looks like it has taken away a bit of wind from the sails. But now Letiu throws it in. This time it is claimed by New Zealand. Mosisi Basson breaking off the back 10 metres out from the Irish try line. Pledger has already got himself one. Caleb Woodley 7 metres out from the try line. Oh, he's broken through and 1 metre short now. Don't think he should have been able to get those easy metres. All the ball is loose. Ireland pick it up on the turf. And there's a knock on there from the Irish on the ground. Probably surviving there. Now 1 minute remaining in the scrum chance. And Baby Blacks versus Box final. Says Manny M. It does seem that way at the moment, that it could be a possibility. I love Kiwi Lads, so much keeps me on the edge of my seat. Exciting stuff, entertaining and fun. Here's Ruth. And there as well. But anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to hit that subscribe button. It is greatly appreciated. You all being here for this live stream. We are going to be back all throughout the weekend. So be sure, if you haven't already, to hit that subscribe button. We also do have a lot of the under-20 stuff still to come. The semi-finals is going to be taking place on Sunday or Monday, I believe it is. That those games will be happening. They will be confirmed, of course, a lot more after these contests, and New Zealand should have about 7 minutes advantage second half. Says Jonathan there with the yellow card. Currently sitting 16 minutes lead. New Zealand taking some deep breaths with their forwards, just trying to really keep stamina levels high. As I think there's still going to be a bit of a fight from Ireland in the second half, whether or not it comes straight away or whether it does take a little bit of time. Oh, they're saying Mosisi Basson, I think they've just said he's got a 3-month-old baby at home. And Nika Fale, they have said, or Mika Fale, sorry, he is also a father off the bench. And this one as well. And kicker 3 says Jonathan, although it does look like New Zealand are backing themselves to get the scrum and to be able to push over. It's an interesting call because the thing is, Ireland did initially turn down threes. Then they eventually decided to cave and go for it. New Zealand, they could be a little bit the same here, although they do know that they're playing up against a 14-man Ireland and they've got a big old push coming from that scrum as well. No advantage coming, but Pledger sniping around the side. Drop ball from New Zealand has gone forward. And now 10 seconds remaining in the half. I think if you're Ireland, you just take that scrum, you get it out the back and you kick it into touch. Accept that 16-point margin. Try England 12-7. So England need a big win. They need the 5 points, so they need 4 tries from their contest. And it looks like they're halfway there. That is the only way that England can still make it in this competition. They would have to rely on Argentina or France losing badly in their matchup. And Ireland look a bit depleted. Sails not full of air. Maybe second win coming. And also who got the 3-month-old baby at home. So Mosisi Basson was one of them, but then one of the players off the bench for New Zealand also have a child at home too. And come on, Australia, says Lamatasi. Now ball going to be fed in by Ireland. It will not be Will Wooten as he is still off the field for a bit longer. Big push from New Zealand. Back into the pocket. Ireland kick it out and say thanks very much. We have had enough. But now, sitting 31-15 at halftime. New Zealand, they were down by 12 points in the early stages of this match. But then coming back and scoring in the end about almost 31 unanswered points in this one. Or maybe there was one try for New Zealand beforehand, but they've scored at least 20 in the last little while. They'll be happy with that. 5 tries in total, so they already do have their bonus point in play for the English in their game up against the Australians. Sitting about 40 minutes in that contest too. Of course, all points are absolutely vital. And that one moment, we will go like that. And we will go like this as well. There we go. But second half will not be a mile away. Probably about 10 minutes or so till the players do make their way back out there. For Ireland, they need a big win. They need a bonus point victory if they want to secure their spot. New Zealand, theoretically, I would say from here, have at least secured 2 points from this match. So that will put them up to 11 if they were to go on and lose this one. Although from here, it does look slightly less likely. So South Africa, they're sitting on 15. If New Zealand win the way that they are at the moment, they will move up to 14. Ireland, they will sit there still on 6 and miss out on the next stage. That will then make it only between England and Argentina or France in terms of who will also be making it through to the next stage. Like I said, the most likely is South Africa, New Zealand, France, and Argentina. England are a bit of the outsider in that regard, but they do need a massive win over Australia, or Australia need an absolutely huge win over the English, and that would actually put them in a position of potentially going through. And this competition, try again, England 17-7. Okay, so they're getting closer to what they need in that matchup. We will quickly just tell you what the separation, or in terms of the tiebreakers, are in this one. Hello, says Lamatasi. Welcome in. Currently, tiebreakers in this comp. We go to the table. So tiebreakers are head-to-head results. So, of course, that is if 2 teams are in the group and they are on the same points. Then you've got the points difference in all matches. Then you've got the tries difference, scored and conceded in all matches, points scored in all matches, tries scored in all matches, and then a coin toss. Now, I don't think we'll be getting to a coin toss anytime soon, but points difference in all matches. So that is pretty much where, let's say, for instance, Argentina were to lose by 8 points and not get a bonus point. England's points differential would actually carry them through to the next stage. It is unfortunate that we won't actually know who's through to the semis until a bit later on, because France versus Argentina, of course, is that big game of this weekend for determining it. But yeah, we will soon know. Hopefully it all goes well. And Cody Armstrong says subscribed in there. Thank you very much, mate. Greatly appreciated. We are back for the matches over the weekend, as well as plenty of other fixtures on the channel in the future. Just looking at the weekend schedule. We'll go here, and we will go here as well. So, in the overall weekend schedule of games we may be covering, we've got Fiji versus Scotland on Saturday at 3 p.m. New Zealand versus France at 7:05. The Invitational AU and New Zealand side taking on the British and Irish Lions. That is at 10. South Africa take on the Italians. That is at 3:10 a.m. New Zealand time on Sunday morning. And then also Argentina versus England. That is another game that we are hoping to cover. That is on at 7:40 a.m. So we will be doing pretty much a 24-hour day on Saturday through to Sunday, relatively close to lunchtime. So it's going to be hectic. Going to be a lot of fun though. And what time is it where you are? At the moment it is 4:49 a.m. New Zealand time. So we are sitting in the middle of the night. Oh, almost morning in fact. So what I'll be doing after the stream is I will be going to sleep for about 4 hours, waking up to do New Zealand's lineup announcement that's being announced around 12 to 12:30. At the moment, sitting 31 points to 15. How dare you get me deported? Says Lamatasi there, and I'm Agent Carter. You can't sneak past me, Drake. Says Ruth. And there as well. And 19 points to 7 even converted, says David. So yeah, England will have to watch that game between France and Argentina very closely and just hope that one of the 2 teams do them a favour. Vai at 6 or Lock tomorrow. See, I think I'd still keep him at 6. Like I did my Scott Robertson prediction. Now I think Tui Pelotu will start at 4. I think Vai, they would be probably quite smart to still keep him at that 6, but I wouldn't be surprised if they make that transition to Lock. Although I do like Vai as either a 6 or in that number 5 jersey, and I do feel like him and Holland as a locking duo probably would be strong, but it doesn't really have that same enforcer role at 4 that you would normally see in an All Black side, but maybe that's something they are willing to change. Hamish needs some shut-eye and then a hearty breakfast before work, says Ruth. Yeah, it's going to be fun for that one, but they are just showing the highlights of this match. Ireland getting off to a great start, getting 2 tries in quick succession, and then from there, just not quite being able to find their stride. And then New Zealand started to fire back. I thought Tuipulotu was injured. I don't think so. I think he was. But from what I've seen, I think he's all right. If he is, then they will have to change Vai back to lock, because or else then they don't really have too many other options other than maybe chucking in a Naitoa Akoi, but he hasn't even officially been confirmed in the squad. Ireland got some nice tries, eh? They did start well. Getting those 2 tries, the little chip in behind down the wing from Minogue was certainly one that did stand out. Also scoring on that wing was Dan Green, so they were targeting that side. And then New Zealand having that yellow card, but just not quite able to make the most of it. And Ireland got some tries, eh? Says Lamatasi. Yeah, just nicely done, the pick and go from New Zealand. It was Roberts, Cooper Roberts, that is. Managed to score one of them. Pledger was able to sneak through a gap as well. And then just a nice inside ball, Kunawavi. Getting it to Will Cole. So yeah, plenty of tries throughout that first 40 minutes of rugby. In fact, what was the score? 47-7, wasn't it? Between the two, Scotland and South Africa. I think it was somewhere around there. So we had about the same amount of points for both these sides as what South Africa got in the first half. Now, if Ireland want any chance in this game, they do have to be the next team to score. We will show you guys the benches for this one as well. There we go for New Zealand. They have got Kempton time as well as Johnson. And then it was Fale, the man that they were mentioning, who does have the child at home, Cameron, and Stanley Solomon there as the number 23 for the Irish. They've got some pretty handy options off their bench, and they will have to make a large impact for this game. 50-50 possession, 56% territory for Ireland. 14 defenders beaten for New Zealand compared to the 8 of the Irish. Ireland having to make an extra 21 tackles with 73. New Zealand, the ill-disciplined side, with 7 penalties conceded compared to the 3 of the Irish. We have got, what's the format of the under-20 tournament? It's the top 2 qualify. It actually isn't. That would be easy. But sadly, they have not made it easy. It is 12 teams, right? So the top team from each group go through. So South Africa, they've confirmed their spot. Let's just say New Zealand win this game. They've confirmed their spot. Whoever wins France versus Argentina also goes through. The place for the 4th semi-finalist is on the line as whoever is the top-ranked second-place team in any group. So this group at the moment, Pool C, seems like it's going to be redundant unless Ireland get a comeback victory here. So then England, if they get 5 points from their game up against the Australians, that would mean that both France and Argentina, whoever loses that game, cannot get 4 tries or be within 7. Or else that will be the side that go through, and England, the defending champions, will miss out. So it all comes down to that game between France and Argentina as to who is actually going to be able to get themselves the big moment and the big semi-final spot. It's either England, Argentina, or France, though, that will be going through as the 4th place team, unless, like I said, Ireland can get a comeback win here. We have got a donation from Colmac. Thank you very much, mate. That is greatly appreciated. This is such a poor squad for the under-20s for Ireland. Finished last in the Six Nations. Problem is our head coach, Doak sucks. I hope he's sacked after this tournament, says Cormac. And there as well, yeah, there's been quite a bit of talk about, a bit of unhappiness around the coach that they have got here. Because the other guy got promoted to Ulster, didn't he? The old under-20 coach. But I think he was liked, wasn't he? He was quite popular. New Zealand and Australia XV will look good on paper. I think the Lions will still win by a close margin. I think that the adjustment for this New Zealand AU side, it'll take a bit of time. And the thing is, they've only got 1 game. So it'll be similar to what we saw for the Barbarians, how there'll be a few rusty players trying to find combinations. Hyola just got home from work, who won the Lions game. So in the end, the Lions won 36-24, a pretty close game up against the Brumbies. And also we have got there, so who will the Box play? So in that scenario, the Box play whoever it is who comes through as the second place team in their group, right? So they can either play, at this point in time, they can play the loser of Argentina-France, which is the most likely, or they can play England in a rematch, which would be very intriguing. Definitely because England, I feel like they weren't quite at their best the first time that the two sides met, so that would make it a lot more entertaining if they meet again. And Murphy went to Ulster. He took over, and we have gone backwards since. Oh, that's not good then. So maybe a good under-20s coach, but not so much for the senior team at this point. Cormac, you're the bomb. So here's Ruth. And so who... Oh, no, I read that one, didn't I? And yeah, he did say it's Cormac. And there as well. But second half of this contest, I would say, if I was a betting man, I would say we're honestly like a minute away, maybe two. I'd say we're on our last couple ads here, as we've had about an 11 or 12 minute break just at this point in time. But perhaps there's something just around the corner, that being the second half. But do let me know your end score predictions for this game, ladies and gentlemen. Currently 16 points advantage to New Zealand. A lot safer than they were in that first 10-minute period. But is there a comeback on the cards at this point in time? Or is it just not quite going to be the way that they'd like it to? Well, we will go like this. We will go like that as well. There we go. And Cormac, you're the bomb. So here's Ruth in there too. But I'm thinking an early Irish try. To be honest, you're the bomb is such a 90s compliment. So here's Cody. What would be the current day compliment to someone? Like, I know you're the bomb, like you said, it's a slightly older school one. Like, what do you say nowadays? That's that like, I feel like it's going to be some sort of terminology that's hip. Like, he's lit. Lit AF. That's what the kids are saying nowadays, isn't it? I'm getting old. 50 points to 32. So here's another mum for the score prediction. 53-24 from Anton. Oh, very close. In that regard is how many points New Zealand you guys think we'll be able to get. They're just showing some of the highlights of the under-20s. Where were Fiji in this competition, by the way? Did they not qualify for it? Because I would have thought they'd go for 16 teams, to be honest, and make it nice and easy. Top team from each side or each group goes through, or you just have quarterfinals and you end up with the top sides advancing there. And they got relegated. So here's Cormac. Because who else is in that relegation group? There's Fiji, Samoa, I think, are in there too, aren't they? I lost to Spain last year, says Cormac. That was a thing until 9-1-1, and England, as it stands, as better points difference. Yep. So I think it's not going to come down to that points difference side of things unless it's France who lose. And we'll like at the end of this game, as well as the end of Australia-England, we'll let you know exactly what France or Argentina need to do to be able to get themselves the victory. Now, both sides out there on the field, like they've said, Ireland need to win this game to get through to the semi-finals guaranteed. New Zealand, they would then be in second place in their group and have a pretty good shot of going through because of their points differential. Like they've said, just a few disciplinary issues throughout this one as well. And now, getting ready to kick this one off for New Zealand. 10 seconds away from this second half. 16-point advantage for New Zealand. A lot of ground to be made up for the Irish, but they've got the heart to do it. Kicked off high. This time New Zealand, they will be looking into the sun. Ireland with the possession. Passed across from Maloney. As long as we don't score, or as we score 2 tries, I'll finish within 7. So we don't get dragged to the relegation matches, but I think New Zealand has already won the game. We ain't coming back. Says Cormac. Now back across. Looking to use the back line. Simpson goes across now to Kunawavi. Sitting now 30 metres out. Pledger cross to the right-hand side. The chance, a little bit of a counter-ruck coming from the Irish, and France wins. We go through, says David. Only if Argentina don't receive a bonus point, though. If Argentina get 4 tries, if they were to lose or are within 7, then they go through because of the better points. Now down the wing here for New Zealand. Frank Vainuku just sits down the Irish defence, bulldozes over the top of him, and it is now a massive try at the start of the half for the Kiwis. England has beat Australia first, or has to beat Australia first, says Cormac. And also Ireland can still win, says Lamatasi, although that try does make it a little bit more tricky. Vainuku sat the man down in front of him who was defending. Just no real, I don't know what their tackle attempt was from Dan Green, but that wasn't round the bootlaces, that wasn't high. He just kind of went into it with not a lot of intent to actually stop Vainuku. I think it was more so to try and slow him down, which did not work. Let's land a few tries versus the Wallabies coming to England, says David. And well, says Lavatasi, and we are done, says Cormac there. And here in Cape Town, Cormac, the kids say it's dope. Go figure, hey, says Ruth. But now lining up this kick again, it will be Will Cole. It's not the easiest kick. It's not a mile off the post, but just drifts away to the left. We'll make the score now 36 points to 15. Now the 21-point advantage for New Zealand. 3 converted tries will get Ireland back into this contest, but they have to start doing it soon. Anuku, New Zealand starting with a bang, says Ruth. A few of the Irish supporters a little bit surprised by that half start. They are still playing with 14 here, Ireland, so they do need to try and just survive this next 3 minutes without New Zealand striking again, although breaking the line now. Massive run forward, and no one able to tackle him. That's a forward pass on the outside. Referee says play on. Also looked like the foot was in touch. Great offload from Kunawabe. This has to be no try, doesn't it? Was that not a forward pass that was absolutely blatant? Pledger scores the try. I think that needs to be checked. But Pledger will have 2 otherwise. Straight through Ireland's defence. Like I've said, they're a 50-50 pass. It's probably putting it lightly. Right, they're going to check it now. Okay, that angle, that doesn't really show it too well, but it went to Kunawabe. NRL ref says Lamatasi, most incredible start. 8:21 Ireland inside 20 metres. And New Zealand 4:04 inside 20 metres. But that kick has gone over now. And the conversion is good. It's all cleared by the TMO. And now making the score 43 points to 15. This ref has to go back to school. Says Albert, he is South African. So I don't know whether or not you're insulting your own school system there, Albert, or not. Do you think Springboks will win Saturday, says Mohadeen? They should. If they didn't, I'd be utterly surprised. But then I thought they would win by a bigger margin on Saturday, and I lost a beard because of it. Now, kicking this one off again for Ireland. Still another 1 minute 30 remaining on that yellow card. Tom Wood's come off. I did have a bit of an injury in that first half. We can get one player on this under-20 team to a senior team. That would be a success. Because most of these are just not good enough. We at New Zealand are going to destroy us. And, well, that was poor wink to our ref. What are you trying to say, Hamish? That's all I'm saying. You said that his schooling was wrong, and I just had to tell you where he was from. I guess you now retract your statement, though. Maybe. Although you've now said 80% of South Africans can't read, so maybe you don't. And what will you shave this week? This will be a great time for a Manscaped sponsorship, wouldn't it? But no. Nothing. Ideally. Sorry, I meant 53-22. Now it seems I underestimated New Zealand, says Anton. Yeah, I've certainly started the second half quick. 2 tries within the first 5 minutes, still within that yellow card period for Ireland. So that's 3 or 4 tries that have come during that time off the field for the number 9 Wooten. So he will very much be regretting that decision in the breakdown. Okay, we're just seeing where the penalty did come for New Zealand. Means that they have now got the line out. It looks like they are starting to make some changes here in New Zealand, so that must be that they feel confident enough Now I say 63-22. And Rufus said 70-22. Everyone's saying 22, aren't they? So people are feeling one more try for the Irish converted. Now Kempton. You throw it in again. Nicely taken at the front. Pledger goes across now to Kunawave. And probably right, Roof, says Cormac, and Baby Black's having a field day, says Manny M. Yeah, trying to really secure that spot in the semi-finals, which at the moment does look extremely likely. They don't look like they're done yet, though. We have got there apparently I'm an advantage, South Africa with proper education. But that ref puts rest of South Africa to shame. Says Albert. Across to the left here for New Zealand again. Being tackled. A little bit of a counter-up coming from Ireland. Not quite working. Now Saar offloads a nice flick on there from Fali. Looking outside. Oh, ball dropped on the try line for Kunoave. Also get Marshy on your show. I don't know whether he'd want to at the moment. I know that he's taken a lot of stick for what he said about France, but I mean, I'd probably have him on if he was keen. Do you think France under 20 will win? They should. But then Argentina are tough too. England with the bonus point now. Okay, so it all comes down to what Argentina and France do. Looks like now, again, New Zealand, after winning the penalty, will kick this one into touch. This half has pretty much started the exact opposite of what the first half did. We have got the... Hamish, what's your favourite book besides In Black and White by Jake White? I actually haven't read like a proper big book probably since school. And the funny thing is, if you ask my dad, he'd probably say the same about himself. Like, I don't know. I just don't like to finish big, long books anymore. I'd rather watch a... Like, if it's a book on a movie, I'll just watch the movie. You know? Autobiography, I'll just end up watching the documentary, you know? So it's a bit of a tricky one. Of course, you should always read, ladies and gents, because it's good for you, as they say. But now rolling ball here for New Zealand. This has to be another try over the line. Sean Kempton gets it, and New Zealand now have a chance of bringing up the 50. What do you think of South Africa's team for the second Italy test? It's a Rassi pretty much curveball through and through. Like, he has just gone, right, these guys didn't perform in the first match, so I'm going to throw as many new blokes in as I can and see if these guys can perform while also balancing minutes heading into the Rugby Championship. Like, it's a team that could work. It's a team that, even if it doesn't, probably will still win. But I think Rassi's just trying a few things. It's been a long time since the Baby Blacks have won the tournament. I think last time they won is 2017. That's a long time for New Zealand, says Cormac. Definitely with the amount of times that they've won the Under-20 Rugby Championship. Since then, now lining up this kick again, it will be Will Cole. Just using up the shot clock. And he struck that one very nicely. 50 points to 15 in favour of New Zealand. Currently in the other match, like it was mentioned, England have got the bonus point from that contest. South Africa scored 73 in this round up against Scotland, who scored 14. So there were 87 points in that match. Question is, are we going to see more than 83 in this game, ladies and gentlemen? Do let me know. We've got 31 minutes left. They would need to get another, I believe, 19 points from this point. New Zealand are flying, says Ruth. They absolutely are. They don't look like they're going to be slowing down anytime soon either. Kicked off by Ireland again. New Zealand looking into the sun, but taking it nicely. We won't score New Zealand. I'll do all the scoring, says Cormac. And the Kiwis aren't messing around, says Ruth. And there too, but Tom McAllister has made his way onto the field. That is for Alex Mullen. Did start at tight head prop for Ireland. Now in the hands. I believe that was Vaki Salua. And Irish need a boost try. Oh, tell you what, loose ball there for New Zealand. Having a dive on it only a couple metres out from their try line. But they did have the penalty advantage. I think Rassi is preparing box to send players ahead to New Zealand. Like he did in 2018. So that split squad is showing us some of that. So here's Albert. Yeah, and I do think there'll be a lot of mixing and matching this year from Rassi's teams. Like, there won't be one consistent lineup. I think that, like you said, he'll probably send over, what do you think, 30 players to New Zealand, somewhere around there, maybe a couple extra, just in case. Oh, they was in touch for Ireland, so they have to go back. What was South Africa's final score against the Scots? They did end up winning that game 73-14. So 87 points total from those two teams. McAllister, Murphy, McCarthy. It's like the Jones and Wales team. Sears Ruth. Now throwing it in. Oh, gone over the top. Goes through the hands of Vakasiola. Double knock on. We'll go back now for another scrum. Ireland trying to rush it along. I think that is Henry Walker trying to find some sort of momentum and some sort of, some sort of motivation for his team. And Xander says Ruth. And there as well. Looks like New Zealand also now making a change. And that is going to be the tight head prop making his way off. In fact, both new props are coming on. We will see Johnson. And 31 minutes. That's plenty of lamb for New Zealand to slaughter. Says Manny Emma. New Zealand will break 100 here. But still, the miracle 150 will never happen, says Xander. And Wales should just change their country name to Jones, says Lamatasi. Now scrum again. This time Ireland's feed. I feel like a bonus point for Ireland here that would still put them in the top 8, right? Or would it? It depends on what happens in the Georgia versus Italy game. New Zealand doesn't seem to keep. I assume that got cut off. Oh, a little bit of push and shove there between the front rowers. Still 28 minutes on the clock. Plenty of time for points for both of these sides. I do think that New Zealand, with this lead, they might consider taking off some of their stars. Now, we could see Jai Tamati on relatively soon to replace Dylan Pledger. You've also got Stanley Solomon. I don't think they want to risk him too much, though, with how he's been able to play, although, of course, not in the starting lineup for this match. Take Cole off for his kicking ability. You get James Cameron out there. In fact, I think they might have already made that change of Jai Tamati now that I look at that far side. I think that is a 21. Yes, it is. Must have heard me. Or perhaps I just realised. RAC will send the core of important players like Eben and Damien Dialende a week earlier to New Zealand. Not play full strength against Australia. So here's Albert. Now back across to the right-hand side, looking for the step and almost cutting through for Ireland, moving up to the halfway line. All security in the breakdown. There's actually been a little bit of a trouble for both of these sides in this match. Now running it sideways will be Maloney trying to step through. The turf has been really torn up, though, from that last scrum. What a score. I might be better than the box win. So here's Ruth. They'll still need a few more tries, New Zealand. 4 to be exact, if they want to get ahead of them with a few conversions. New Zealand, though, win the penalty in the breakdown, not releasing, going against Ireland. Cardi, ever since the 80s, there are Jones in the team. Says Lamatasi, and New Zealand will go through to the semi-final. If they win this game, they will. And they will join South Africa, but those two sides won't play each other in the semi-final. Unless France win their game by like 80 points. That would be the only way that that can actually happen. The region encompass, why can't I say that word? Encompassing New Zealand and Australia is most commonly referred to as Australasia. And we have got there other terms like Down Under or Oceania. So what is the official name for the New Zealand Australian team? They are called AUNZ Invitational XV. That's the name of the team facing the British and Irish Lions. We see Cameron now making his way onto the field. That is for Cooper Roberts in terms of that switch. And South Africa, that Eden Park test is being talked up like a World Cup final. Yeah, it is going to be the biggest test match of not just this year, but also what feels like right up till that next World Cup. I don't think anything else is going to be able to top it in terms of the interest and the hype of it, mainly because of that winning streak being on the line. Now throwing it in. Nicely taken by New Zealand once more. They've got the advantage now. Tamati. It's off to the left-hand side. Skip past there from New Zealand. Stanley Solomon has made his way on. Yes, remember Stephen Jones? He was Fab Welsh fly half. See his Ruth now kicked him behind from New Zealand, attempting something. They had the penalty advantage, so it was worth the risk. And they'll go back now for the original penalty. Double blow of the whistle here as well here. Does that mean now final warning for the Irish? It does look that way. And then come on passing. Breaking it's easier. The jerseys of the New Zealand-Australia combined squad look so much more Wallabies gold. Like there is barely any New Zealand black on it. Yeah, the only black strip that they've got, I believe, that might be under the arms. But then also it's down the bottom where players tuck in their shirts so you don't see the black anyway. So yeah, it kind of looks like an Australian away kit. People were saying they missed the opportunity to do like a split down the middle Wallabies and All Blacks kit. But yeah, I guess it will do. It is a one-off game, but perhaps if they play well, we could see them playing together in the future too. France is still very dangerous, says Manny M. And also, I remember all the Jones, Gareth, Tom and Bruce. Will Wooten being taken off the field, not for the first time, but this time it is for the sub rather than going for the yellow. Are you allowed to say your surname? Maybe you are Jones. I am not a Jones, no. That one's going close to the sideline. Nicely taken to the back from Rico Simpson. Now trying to step through. Does sneak after. Oh, big shot coming in. One of the Irish defenders who has managed to slow him down. I think that might have actually been Johnny Scott. And France are very dangerous. And the New Zealand-Australia team sounds weird. Oceania sounds interesting. Now backline movement here for New Zealand in the hands of Konuave. He will break through. He doesn't often offload until he absolutely has to. Springbok jersey are not nice. Awful neck design. Looks like girls' jumper t-shirt instead of rugby jersey. See, I've heard quite a few people don't mind the new one, but I think that's also because they thought that the kit was going to look like the training one with the pick and pay right across the front. We have got there, Hamish's last name is X, like Malcolm. Here's Lamatasi now back across to the right-hand side, going into the middle of the field. New Zealand, Rico Simpson has stayed down. It was a bit of friendly fire there between him and one of his Kiwi teammates. Looks like maybe neck injury coming here as well for one of the New Zealanders. Can't quite work out who that is. Might be Stanley Solomon. And someone else is down for Ireland too. It seems like everyone's dropping at the moment here. So one of the New Zealand players has been told to leave his neck in one place. I think he might be stretched off the field here. Hamish Kinghorn is his full name. Sears Albert. And mother's father was a Jones. She was Jones. Who is this injury for New Zealand? I thought it was Stanley Solomon from my first reaction of him being down. Oh, yeah, no, a couple of the players going down now with a little bit of cramp by the looks of Go New Zealand, says Johan. Hamish Smith-Weasley says, cool story. They're just saying there about Tamati's pass. Yeah, I'm not seeing Stanley Solomon here at this current point in time. So it might actually be him. How many All Blacks in the Anzac team? I think they've got about 10 across that lineup. Or the lineup, sorry. And the finals is going to be a banger. Says Jovi. Yeah, the fact that we could see New Zealand, South Africa as the final. Hamish Mustache van der Merwe. Okay, back up to his feet here. I'm still trying to work out who that is. It might be James Cameron. Could also be Jack Wiseman, though. He's so far away, and they haven't shown his number. And now we're showing the team huddle, which doesn't show him. Okay, I think it... Oh, no, Wiseman was down on this near side, though, for that Kunawavi play, so it might not have been him. Right, but is he going to continue in this matchup? I think he is, whoever he was, so hopefully he is all right. And Harry Potter and the slippery rugby ball, no rain early, luckily. Says Ruth. Yeah, a little bit of a stoppage there. 57 minutes through at the moment. in this matchup. Whistle has been blown. Ireland did get themselves the last penalty. Currently, the score in the other contest is it's getting a little bit closer. England still need to make sure they get that win, or else they could be in a bit of trouble. Hamish du Plessis. See, here's Ruth there. Line out throw for Ireland. Haven't been able to score any points since about maybe the 15th minute of this game. From there, it has been all junior All Blacks. But you just, you wonder whether or not Ireland, that game up against the Italians, they were supposed to win it. And it didn't quite work out for them. And now maybe, there was high confidence at the start of this game, but now I just wonder whether or not they know that this game's done and dusted. Havili, u20 captain, says Cody. Yeah, I've mentioned about it many times. I have no idea what to title that live stream. Like, do I call it the AUNZ Invitational XV versus the British and Irish Lions? Do I just call it Australia and New Zealand combined? No idea. Now that the dust is settled, what did you think of the British and Irish Lions game? Decent performance from the Brumbies. Still a little bit of rust in terms of those chemistry or kind of those, I guess, link-ups between the British and Irish Lions. But I think they'll be strong in the Australian Test Series. The benefit that they've got is they still have more games. Whereas for the Australians, they only had that one up against Fiji, and they look far from perfect. And that one big run again, this time coming from Fale. After the left-hand side, New Zealand now starting to shift it, but it goes into touch. I don't think we were favourites against the Italians. They beat us this year in the Six Nations, so us losing didn't actually shock me. We're just bad, says Cormac. And also time for someone to score. Irish one more try, and Hamish James Bond. And Little 8Bs haven't scored yet, says Lamatasi. Yeah, ever since we started mentioning about that score in the South Africa versus Scotland game, in terms of whether or not New Zealand could get more points, they've actually stopped scoring at all in this game. So maybe we jinxed them. And they won, the good old commentator's curse. They're saying desperate to stay on the field here. We don't know Hamish's surname, but we can confirm that he's a direct descendant of Freddie Mercury. I was born in Waimea, says John. It's a mustache, isn't it? The thing is, I originally was going to get rid of it over this weekend coming up, but now I don't know whether or not I should. To be honest, I feel like I've gotten used to it now, and it doesn't look as outrageous as it did the first day, I have to say. Iron Man commentator says, Roof, here we are until about our 6.5 hour of commentary for the day. Stolen in the breakdown from Kunoave, now looking to use their backline again here, New Zealand. Kempton going across to now. Oh, big shot. Coming in, replacement prop on prop. That one, Dane Johnson. And back in the day, we Welsh had, or never had surnames until the English made us. It would be a Rhys Epps, son of David. That became Rhys Davidson, or David's son. See, inflation, is that right? That's actually an interesting story or interesting predicament, isn't it? Hamish looks like James Brown. I love child, says Lamatasi. Now back across to the left, New Zealand 30 metres out from the try line. See there, McLaughlin has made his way on, and that is for Minogue, who did score the first initial try for the Irish. Offload there again from New Zealand. A little bit of a risky offload, and it has actually drifted forward. It will be another Irish scrum. New Zealand are trying to do too much now. Everyone's going for those fancy offloads rather than just passing the ball like they were. Mustache is great, just needs time to grow longer, says And. Although if it gets too much longer, I don't know where I'll put it. Because it will just, as in like, does it need to go further down, or does it need to go further out, or does it need to get a little curl on the end? I don't think I'd ever curl it. To be honest, I don't know whether or not that would be my thing. Then Davidson got shortened to Davies. And my relative in Wales is called Jones. Jones, we call him Jones. And also, good to hear, getting your weekday fix of Kiwi Lad, says Lilia. And there are 3 times more likes and boxes in Scotland than this game, says Robert Wood. It's probably about 3 times as many views as well, though. So that does kind of check out. And now, ready to put the scrum in. Oh, it's gone straight down. And free kick goes the way of Ireland. Yes, the curl will be legendary, says Xander. Now Ireland again. So what is next for them? I believe it's top 8 get to play, don't they? So currently the way that Ireland sit, because they lost to Italy, they really do still need that bonus point from this game, or else they have a chance of finishing last, although Georgia should finish below them as long as the Italians do get themselves the victory. Then, of course, we would have to see I think in that scenario, we would then see, do Ireland have to then be the top ranked side, or do they? No, I don't know. It's a bit confusing, isn't it? In about 5 hours' time, though, we'll know exactly who's playing who. A mustache wax, Sears Flesh in there. And also, wait, what time is it in New Zealand? It's not stupidly early in the morning. Yeah, it's currently 5:26 a.m. Time left, please. Currently 17 minutes remaining. Another line out here for Kempton, sitting about 40 metres out from the Irish line. Now offloaded back up. In fact, no, Tamati's not even going to get it there. And also New Zealand says, Kiwi NZ, welcome in. Good morning, I guess I should say, if you are in New Zealand. Tamati again goes back now to the pocket. Simpson. Downfield, nicely done by the Irish fullback Dan Green, who hasn't really had a huge amount of attacking chances in this matchup, unfortunately. This game very similar, though, to what we saw between South Africa and Scotland. Now, there was a little burst where we saw a few tries, and then other than that, a pretty quiet half between these two teams, although the last 10 minutes, I feel, will heat up a little bit more. Big shot coming in from Frank Vainuku. Players slow to get back up to their feet, Henry Walker being one of them. And Drape, in-laws, outlaws, and Clint Eastwood. Says Roof there. Now just the 16 minutes on the clock. Simpson takes it near the touchline. Going back across, this is where we could see Kunoave, although he's limping in the background by the looks of pass again from New Zealand, trying to once again do too much with it. Is there a under-27s tournament as well? I don't believe so. Not that I know of anyway. But you're just not able to get that pass into hands. I think they do some variation of like a junior sevens, but it's not like the same international caliber as this. Like I think there's like a couple teams from New Zealand, a couple Aussie sides in there. Maybe a couple Fijian teams. I think it's the one that we see hosted sometimes in New Zealand. And New Zealand have really played well, says John. Yeah, even with these mistakes that they are making later on, like they're still well and truly in control. And the biggest thing now will be the last 15 minutes to stay injury-free. Don't have anyone go off the field with any sort of serious injury, or else it could affect them heading into their next game up against either France or Argentina, is the way it looks. Cross kick attempted by Ireland, but it goes too far. We'll go back now for the New Zealand line out. They're saying now that New Zealand have a little bit of time on the clock to just have fun out there on the field, although I do think that they've tried to do that too much in the second half. But it's not going to change the result. They are still going to be victorious no matter what now, moving from left to right. Can't see a pick and go from Kunoave. He's got the man with him, Tamati, but he will go himself stepping through and scores the try between the posts. New Zealand now get into the mid-50s. Just get Carter. Says Roof there. That was brilliantly done from Kunoave. Saw the gap, realised that it was available to be able to run through, and did exactly that. Just a huge step coming as well. New Zealand banging it. Says Roof there. Will be a nice easy kick in front of the posts. You Agent Carter, says Lamatasi. Yeah, Rico Simpson taking over the kicking responsibilities ever since Cole made his way off the field. In fact, I think that's the first kick since Cole came off. Straight in front of the posts. Rico Simpson, probably the easiest kick that we will see of the whole day. New Zealand took a while to add to that 50A. There's Xander. Yeah, a little bit similar, like I said, South Africa versus Scotland. There was that quiet patch. 25 minutes, I believe it was, that neither side were able to score points. New Zealand, they probably had a patch of about, I'd say, 20, maybe 18 minutes. We didn't see too many points coming, but now Kunawave certainly changed us that. New Zealand chasing that 73 we saw from South Africa. They were able to get more. That would be the highest score we have seen of this whole competition. An abnormal meet. If I barb roof. And also we have got there too close to my other uncle JJJ, the second. Says good story. And what game Saturday, says Mohadeen. So we are going to be covering Fiji versus Scotland. We've got New Zealand versus France. The British and Irish Lions taking on the AU-NZ Invitational team. Then also South Africa versus Italy. And Argentina versus England. Those are all the games that I am planning on covering. Of course, subject to change, but more than likely we'll probably do them all. Seems like a good idea at the time. And then, of course, the semi-finals of the under-20s will be taking place the day after. And we'll also be covering that on the channel too. Kicked high now, chasing forward. Running onto it was Dan Green. Ball on the side of Ireland with 12 minutes now left on the board. 57 points to 15, taken now by Tamati. Rico Simpson has the man with him on the outside. Frank Vainuku gets back up to his feet, tries the offload, manages to get it away. Vainuku in a bit of space, tries to bump off one of the Irish players, does just that, but got himself isolated. Got a bit too hungry with the ball. Had the man on the inside that could have had a bit more of a chance, but he wanted to sit down the Irishman on the wing. And another 3 tries, boys, come on, New Zealand. See, here's Roof there. Now kick downfield. Ireland just getting it into touch with a very well-weighted boot. Great direction on it as well. See there, Vainuku, he sat him down. He did have Tamati on the inside, but never used him. And then there was no one there to be able to get into the breakdown. Are you sleeping Saturday? We will sleep at some point, just not overnight. We'll be pretty much up from whenever I wake up on Saturday right through to Sunday lunchtime. Or somewhere around there. I'm ready to throw it in. In fact, what day's 14th? It's on the Monday. So that is my mum's birthday. So we'll probably end up going out for lunch or something on Monday as well. So that'll be after the Rugby Championship under-20s games. That I do that as well. So it's going to be a hectic week. By the looks of it, now only a few metres out from the line, Ireland. And they get another try. They haven't been able to score a point since around 20 minutes, like I mentioned. New Zealand doesn't need an away kit. No one else wears only black. See here, Xander. Oh, big shot on Kareem. And Ireland need to try to make a fierce scoreline, says Lamatasi. And back across to the right. Big shot again on McAllister. Just retreating at the moment, losing about 10 metres in the process of passing. And who do you think Box under 20 play Sunday? They will play either France, Argentina, or England are the 3 sides that they could end up facing. Who do I think they'll face? I think they'll play Argentina. Now another change. Looks like it's taken place for New Zealand. All right, subs. Taking place again here. Besides starting to struggle, a lot of players down on a knee. Hands on hips, hands on the knees as well. And Ireland 3 tries and all 3 missed conversion attempts. 2 tries and they took a 3. They missed the 1 kick at the post, but they had New Zealand down to 14. They tried a few times for the corner. They kept on having New Zealand penalty advantages against them and then turning into penalties. But then they decided to take 3 points, and New Zealand from there scored about 2 or 3 tries throughout the time they were down to 14. So I think that was a very telling moment throughout the game. Ireland, I think, just needed to keep on persisting with the chance of New Zealand getting another yellow. Hello, I'm from Cape Town, South Africa, but my father's Welsh. So here's Ruth. And hi, Ruth, are you from New Zealand? Says Heather there too. Yeah, much better time zone where Ruth is at the moment compared to us here in New Zealand, I will say that. Right, time has been turned back on. Now line out opportunity for New Zealand. Throwing it in, well claimed. Pledger already making his way off the field after scoring twice. Tamati will love nothing more than to be able to get himself one as well. Stanley Solomon passes on the outside. Another loose ball. New Zealand trying to slap it back. James Cameron hanging on to that ball. I thought you were South African, says Heather. Well, she's from Cape Town, but her father's well, so I assume her mum would be from South Africa then, in that case, so she would be at least half South African, wouldn't she? And we are sitting at 7:37 p.m, says Ruth. Yeah, that next game taking place between France and Argentina. It is still around an hour or so away. We won't be covering that one on the channel, although I will, of course, be keeping a close eye on it once I wake up in the morning. See who has made it through as a semi-finalist. Now pass on the outside, going away to the left here. More stepping coming. Oh, tackle on the ground. That was silly. From Vaki Siola. Oh, drop ball from Ireland. And we'll go back now for another penalty. 8 minutes remaining. Another South African born here, says Ruth. Did Wales win any of the games this time or this year? The men's side didn't, but the under-20s won their game just before. So, yeah, the under-20s going a little bit better than the men at the moment. I pray it's South Africa versus New Zealand. Says Heather. Well, the thing is, New Zealand and South Africa can't play each other in the semis, with where New Zealand are going to finish here. So that is a massive bonus. The fact that South Africa will finish at the top, unless, of course, France, like I said, win their game up against Argentina by an absolutely huge margin and end up pushing themselves ahead of South Africa in the points differential. But at the end of this contest, as well as the end of England versus Australia, we'll be able to let you know exactly what the fine-tuning of the competition needs in terms of who can go through and where they can actually finish. Hamish, given it's early, are you going to ring the cowbell when points scored to signal to the other people sleeping there's points on the board? I am certainly not going to do that. It's a wonderful idea. Maybe if it was the afternoon, but with it being almost 6 a.m. in the morning, I think that people would get very annoyed. Now Rolly Maul. Ireland breaking away all by himself there. Now Logan gets it to Kareem. Another advantage going against New Zealand. Tackler not rolling away. I love that movie and that song. Brilliant. Says Roof, looks like Ireland. Once again decided to take the quick tap. They were saying New Zealand weren't quite back that 10 metres or so, but 6 minutes left on the clock. Can Ireland strike again before the end of the game? Being told to stay on side again. New Zealand round the side of the breakdown within a metre. Behind the hindmost foot for New Zealand are being told to use it, and they do end up stopping Ireland once more. This looks like they're about to shift it out wide, although first of all, they're going to have a couple cracks. Corrigan, was he over? In fact, it might have been, where is he, who popped up with it? It looks like it is one of the big replacements. Is it Billy Bowen? He did score that try. I'm trying to wait for him to turn around. I think it's the number 17 though. Or is it? Yep, it is Billy Bowen. He did manage to score. What time is it by you? At the moment it is sitting 5:40 a.m. New Zealand time. Yeah, that next video we will be doing is the New Zealand squad. It is being announced in only around probably about 6 hours time, maybe a little bit later than that. So we're going to get up, do that one. In fact, I'll quickly check to see if they've actually announced the exact time that they will be doing it. Normally they put it on their story, but I don't think they've done it this time at this point. Normally around lunchtime though, when it is announced. It's the 5 minutes remaining though in this fixture. New Zealand just walking up to the halfway line. They are not fussed about rushing here. 22 points on the board for the Irish. They need one more try for a bonus point, which might not make a huge amount of difference, but it would certainly be something. I'm listening from Ireland. I've got a proud South African supporter. Says Heather. They're just saying there, 33-28 between Australia and England. If Australia win that, England are no longer in with a shot, and we have our top 4 confirmed, ladies and gentlemen. Well, actually, no, that's not true. Even though Australia's points differential is awful, there is still a chance that someone could sneak in. But now, and off to the left-hand side, Ireland, seems like they want that one more to get that bonus point, like I said, and come on, Australia. Says Lamatasi. 9 has been told to use it. Now down. Rico Simpson goes up for it, takes it well. Looking at the sun again. Alexander, it was epic, says Lilia B. Okay. Double blow of the whistle here. I think they're going to be checking something. It was the TMO who got involved. Right, checking for potential foul play. Okay, Ireland 17, Billy Bowen, the man who just scored the try. Now they are checking for an illegal clean-out that he has done. Oh. Okay, he just kind of crunched him down. He's put body weight on top of the limbs. Kind of. Okay, I think it's just going to be a penalty. Right, they're just checking. Oh, okay. I've just actually seen the New Zealand team is being announced, ladies and gents, at 10 a.m. New Zealand time. Which means I will get approximately 3 hours of sleep rather than the 4. Okay. Oh, wow. This is going to be a rare card for Billy Bowen here. And under 20s, New Zealand and South Africa look strong. Is France any good? See its cool story, bro. Oh, this is about you bending over the table. When did that... Wait, who mentioned me bending over a table? Oh yeah, nah, that was in the shorts a while ago, wasn't it? And TMO, even on under 20 level, loves checking. It's funny how under 20s can change in a year. England were worthy winners of the last year and are struggling this year. That's the thing, like one big loss in such a shortened format can make all the difference. We've currently got 7 minutes remaining off that English game. They need to stop Australia from scoring. So what we will do is at the end of this game, we'll go over to that one and see the final moment, see who does win. Stock up on the coffee, Hamish. And a decent Margaret Thatcher level of sleep, Hamish. Says cool story. Yeah, well, now I'm in the predicament. Do I just stay? I don't know if I should just stay up, though. Because it is still 4 hours away. 3 hour power nap, says Ruth. Yeah, it might be the case of go to sleep. Yeah, I got to go to sleep because I am working today. So it would not be smart to just stay up the whole time. Now, line out throw here for New Zealand, like they are saying, just taking that risk. Can be a risky one. Now rolling maul here for the Kiwis. They have got themselves the penalty advantage yet again now. Now, Tamati going back across to the left-hand side. Oh, quick hands. Rico Simpson goes to Kunawave. Close to the sideline. Offloads the ball back inwards. I think referee was just getting some word from the TMO yet again there. How did you go missing? How did I go missing? What do you mean? When? I think is probably the big question. Now 2 minutes left. New Zealand again can kick this one for the corner. I do think that ever since New Zealand got that about 3 or so try lead, it just seems like, you know, we're in a predicament here that they were never going to quite lose it. Go like this and like that. There we go. Now line out throw. Getting it in. Nicely taken for New Zealand. Rolling maul. This is looking good again. Kempton will get his second for New Zealand. Looks like I was closest with the score. Says Anton, you were not a mile away, were you? 53-22, wasn't it? In the end for the prediction. You're not a mile away. I don't even think I gave a prediction for that, but I probably wasn't going this high. I thought it was going to be a little bit closer. To be honest, Chuck Norris says, Lamatasi, drink coffee and see if you can sleep. If you do sleep, you know you needed it. If you stay awake, you know you're not really tired. Is that a known theory? And this result proves Ireland relies on poaching New Zealand players to succeed, says Farid. It just doesn't really, does it? I feel like it's just, once again, an arrogant comment. For 1 minute remaining. And at this contest, he will not be able to use up the rest of the time. I said 63-22. Says Nov Mum. I believe that was the adjusted. I had 50-32 as the very first prediction. And that one will miss away to the side. And now 62-22. And Delta Force for South African game, says Mohadeen. And another one, New Zealand try getting close. As Box under 20 in the lead. They are through to the semi-finals, yes. Now kick downfield, nicely taken by New Zealand. Again, another opportunity to be able to score the try. It's going to be Kunawave, and he will run it in. Another try, making it a very difficult kick for his teammate. And yep. And now New Zealand have just messed everything up. Here's Anton Bosch. And there as well, but the shark fin goes up. Currently 80 minutes down. That will be full time just about. Still just the kick to come. New Zealand, though, moving up to 67 for today. So South Africa and New Zealand both having confident wins heading into the semi-finals. Kunawave, just a retained ball. Vakasiora, he knew that one was good. New Zealand beat Japan back in 1995, I believe, with a 100-plus score. Says Xander. An unbelievable. I'm close for 70 New Zealand. Says Ruth. And thanks, no mum, says Ruth. In there as well. But now kicked and just ends up going over. 69-22 is the way that it sits. We've had an Irish coach for the past 3 seasons before this year's tournament, and we did better than New Zealand from 2022 and 2023 tournament. We have been to a final more recently than you, so says Cormac. Yeah. Farid likes to try and annoy people, I think is the best way of describing him. So I wouldn't worry too much about him. We have got the eye greeting from Vic, the other half of Vic and Wern Sports Chat in there as well, so welcome in. Hope you are doing extremely well. I'll be honest, earlier on, where it was, is it the Wernisler, I think is the name that he goes by on YouTube. I didn't recognise it for a start, but yeah, I do appreciate you popping in. And yeah, we'll have to get something going in the near future. Could even be in the next couple of days, perhaps. I mean, I'm doing a little bit of a series at the moment where we do predictions of what Rassie Erasmus is going to go with in his Springbok side. You guys could be booked in for next week's one if you want, up against the Georgians. Let me know. And I should have put bets on at one point, says Ruth. Great job, mate. Power nap 3 hours, says Novacast. Although first we have to find out England versus Australia. Who's going to win that contest? England were up. The last that I saw it was 33 points to... Oh, it's 33-33 now. That's not good for the English. They needed to win. New Zealand smashed poor Irish. Says Ruth there. But yeah, currently England are on attack, ladies and gents. With 3 minutes remaining, that looked like it was a deliberate knockdown. Oh no, it's just going to count as a knock on. It sounds good. Yes, Vern goes under Wernizel, says Victor. So yeah, we'll have to try and get something sorted. I think you guys have your email on your... Or in fact, you guys have an Instagram, I think. One moment. We will do the quick investigation. I think you guys have Instagram, don't you? Maybe. There's one without a picture with one follower and following one person. Is that the right one, or is there another one, Vic? Do I call you Vic or Victor? And hi, Vic, says Lilia B. If England win, they go through. Lose, they get knocked out. So, yeah, Australia would still have half a chance of going through to the next stage. I see Argentina and France doing a deal. And the next game, so both can go through. I mean, it could happen. All they need is one bonus point for either one of the losers. So if it's a high-scoring game, I think it's fine. Oh, England close. Couple meters out. This is for a spot to still possibly go through. They've won a penalty. No Instagram yet, says Victor. Okay, that's no worries. I think I'll just quickly check and see if I can find your email while we are waiting for the final moments. And we aren't doing too good. So here's 0 connection. Yeah, it's close. Between these two sides, 20 seconds, or sorry, 1 minute and 20 seconds remaining. And this is to see whether or not they will go through. There's a new sleeping tablet called Day Vigo. That totally changed my mum's life. But it doesn't, but if you don't mind your sleeping times, it doesn't matter. See, it's a cool story. Yeah, see, my sleep schedule's broken. We're currently 5:51 a.m. here in New Zealand. And this weekend is going to be just as messed up in terms of that sleep schedule. Yep, I've managed to find your email, Vic. So, yeah, if you guys are keen, it will probably be on either Sunday or Monday. Just because Rassie, as you know, loves to announce an early one. Come on, we all want the All Black Springbok final, and it can happen. At the moment, the best case scenario, England are leading 36 points to 33. And as long as this is the way that it sits, I believe the chance of New Zealand playing South Africa in a semi is pretty much like 0.3%. But now, of course, Australia, they would still like to make their way through. I think we're going to see an England rematch between, Argentina would almost sneak through. So we're either going to get an England rematch or a Rugby Championship under-20s rematch from earlier on in the year, in which Argentina, they were competitive up against South Africa. You drink coffee or Monster to keep awake. I actually don't drink either, believe it or not. And say hi to Vern. Still munching on gummy bears, says Lilia B. Enjoying now, Baby Blacks did amazingly, says Dan. They certainly did. 10 seconds remaining in this England versus Australia game. Their points differential is not going to massively be influenced from this contest. They go back into the pocket. They kick it into touch. Tell you what, that was pretty quick in terms of when that hooter sounded. But England win their contest. So, with that being said, we'll look at the table and we'll see where it sits. I get that 3 hours sleep in Hamish, says Ruth. The All Black squad going to be announced at 10 a.m. New Zealand time. You actually pull off the mustache pretty well. 90% of people can't see 0 connection. See, I didn't really have a choice though. Because, of course, I thought that South Africa would beat Italy by more. Because they didn't, I bet the beard. And the beard did disappear pretty quickly from that one. But, yeah, I don't know whether or not to keep the mustache or whether to go back to just slightly trying to grow what is not really a beard. But I'm trying. The English can't count. They need to win to go through. Says WLK, and they did. They won 36 points to 33. So they are now through at the moment. Points differential of 30. So what that means is for Argentina, they are currently on the 10 points. They only need 1 bonus point and they will go through to the next stage. France are the same, both on 10 points. So like it was mentioned earlier on, maybe those two sides just go for a high scoring contest, both get the points under the bag, and then from there we'll more than likely see the winner face up against New Zealand, and the loser of that game will face South Africa. We want to see a mullet. You do not want to see a mullet. My face and my head shape, I don't think would suit a mullet at all. We have got there Benjamin Cohen slotted at 80 or winning penalty for England in the 80th minute. So here's Dan. And as New Zealand now on top of the table, seed 1. Their points differential is nowhere near South Africa's, even with that big win. Like the Blitz box, the junior box, their points differential is 125. New Zealand's after that game up against Ireland, I believe, it's sitting a little bit better, but it's only around that 70 or 80 mark. So South Africa, unless we see France win their game up against Argentina by about 74 points, that means that South Africa will get seed number 1. What ranking will the Baby Blacks be? They will come in as more than likely 2nd or 3rd. But either way, they'll be in that middle matchup. More than likely. Like, once again, 99.7%. What's the bet for Saturday's game? I'd like to keep the rest of my hair, I think. So I've just learnt not to make forfeits because I often get predictions wrong. We have got there a great win, New Zealand. Sears Roof there. So it will currently look like France versus South Africa and New Zealand versus Argentina. Only if Argentina beat the French. If France win their game, which let's just say because of the way that the table sits, they will. So it will be France versus New Zealand in one semi, Argentina versus South Africa in another one. So either way, we're going to get some good matches in the semi-finals of this competition. We will be covering them on the channel too, ladies and gents. But like I said, 4 hours time is when the All Blacks will be announcing their lineup. So we will be having a quick sleep beforehand. Then we'll be getting back up to do that video. Anyone who is new to the channel, of course, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. It is greatly appreciated. You all being here for these matches, a third of the day. We've got plenty more coming up this weekend. So yeah, we will see you all for the next one.